Have you ever wondered why you keep asking Allah for financial success, yet the doors never seem to open? You work hard, you improve your skills, you make plans for the future, you wake up every day with bigger dreams and stronger ambition, and after every prayer, you ask Allah to bless your efforts and increase your provision. Yet nothing seems to change. Meanwhile, you watch other people succeed. Businesses grow, careers take off, opportunities appear for them while you continue waiting. Slowly, a painful question begins to settle in your heart. Has Allah forgotten me? That question has crossed the minds of many sincere believers. But what if you are asking the wrong question? What if the real question is not, why hasn't Allah given me wealth? What if the real question is, why is Allah preparing me before giving it? Most people think wealth is simply money in a bank account. Islam teaches something much deeper. Wealth is a trust. Wealth is a responsibility. Wealth can bring a person closer to Allah, or it can quietly pull the heart away from Allah. That is why Allah does not always answer every dua with immediate abundance. Sometimes Allah delays the blessing because Allah loves you. Sometimes Allah is protecting you from a success your heart is not yet ready to carry. Think about it. If someone handed you the keys to a powerful car before you learned how to drive, would that be kindness or would it be dangerous? The same is true with wealth. The amount you ask for may not be the problem. The condition of your heart may be. Allah knows exactly what every blessing will do to every soul. Allah knows whether money will increase your gratitude or increase your pride. Allah knows whether success will strengthen your faith or slowly replace your dependence on the one who gave it in the first place. So while you are praying for a bigger income, Allah may be building a bigger character. While you are asking Allah to change your circumstances, Allah may be changing you. Because sometimes the greatest miracle is not that Allah gives you wealth. The greatest miracle is that Allah transforms you into the kind of person who can receive wealth without losing your faith. Today, we will explore why Allah tests your ambition before granting the wealth you ask for. Why some delays are actually signs of mercy. And how Allah prepares the hearts of believers to carry blessings that bring them closer to Allah instead of pulling them away. Most people think they are asking Allah for money, but if you look deeper, that is usually not what they truly want. They want peace. They want security. They want to stop worrying about tomorrow. They believe that if they have enough money, everything else will finally fall into place. But is that really how life works? If money could guarantee peace, then every rich person would be happy. Every successful person would sleep without stress. Every millionaire would wake up with a heart full of contentment. But we all know that is not true. Money can buy comfort. It cannot buy peace. Money can buy a house. It cannot fill that house with love. Money can buy expensive things. It cannot remove fear from the heart. Only Allah can do that. This is something many people do not realize. They spend years chasing the gift while forgetting the one who gives the gift. They become attached to the provision instead of the provider. That is a dangerous place for the heart. Think about your own life. When something worries you, what do you think about first? Do you immediately check your bank account? Do you start looking for another job? Do you begin calculating every possible solution? Or do you first turn to Allah? There is nothing wrong with working hard. Islam teaches us to work. Islam teaches us to plan. Islam teaches us to earn halal wealth. But our hearts should never depend on those efforts more than they depend on Allah. Your job is only a means. Your business is only a means. Your salary is only a means. Allah is the one who provides through those means. The moment you forget that, fear begins to grow. You become afraid of losing your job. You become afraid of losing your clients. You become afraid that one bad month will destroy everything you built. But when your heart truly knows Allah is Ar-Razzaq, something changes inside you. You still work hard. You still give your best. But your heart becomes calm because you know that no person can stop what Allah has already written for you. No employer controls your rizq. No customer controls your rizq. No economy controls your rizq. Allah alone controls your rizq. That is why Allah sometimes delays wealth. Before Allah increases what is in your hands, Allah first increases what is in your heart. Because if your heart depends on money, then more money may only create more fear. But if your heart depends on Allah, then whether you have little or much, you will still have something far more valuable. You will have contentment. And that is the kind of wealth that no one can ever take away. One of the hardest things in life is waiting. It becomes even harder when you believe you are doing everything right. You wake up early, you work with honesty, you improve your skills, you keep making dua. You ask Allah for halal wealth. You ask Allah to bless your efforts. But the answer still seems far away. Days turn into months. Months turn into years. Slowly, your heart begins to wonder why nothing is changing. You see other people moving ahead. You see doors opening for them. You start asking yourself if you have been forgotten. But never let that thought settle in your heart. Allah never forgets a single servant. The delay does not mean Allah is refusing you. The delay does not mean your dua has no value. Sometimes the delay is part of the answer itself. Allah knows what you cannot see. Allah knows what tomorrow looks like. Allah knows what success will do to your heart. Allah knows what wealth will bring into your life. That is why Allah never gives too early and never gives too late. Everything comes at the moment that carries the most wisdom. Think about a builder who wants to build a tall tower. The first thing the builder works on is not the roof. The first thing is the foundation. That part takes the longest. It is also the part that nobody notices. People walk by and think nothing is happening, but the builder knows that without a strong foundation, the whole building will fall. Allah often works with us in the same way. Before Allah increases your wealth, Allah may strengthen your patience. Before Allah opens a new door, Allah may teach you humility. Before Allah gives you more responsibility, Allah may build your trust. These lessons are not a delay. They are preparation. They are the foundation for the blessing you keep asking for. Many people think money will solve every problem, but money also brings new tests. It tests your gratitude, it tests your priorities, it tests your generosity, it tests your relationship with Allah. If the heart is not ready, the blessing can become a distraction. Instead of bringing you closer to Allah, it can slowly pull you away. That is why Allah sometimes changes the person before changing the situation. Allah wants your heart to stay connected even after your hands become full. Allah wants you to remember the one who gave the blessing, not only the blessing itself. One day, you may receive everything you have been praying for. When that day comes, you may look back at this season of waiting with completely different eyes. You may realize that the greatest gift was not only the wealth that finally arrived. The greatest gift was the person Allah helped you become while you were waiting. By then, your heart will be stronger. Your faith will be deeper. Your trust will be greater. And you will understand that Allah was never making you wait without a reason. Allah was preparing you for a blessing that your heart was finally ready to carry. Most people think the test begins after they become wealthy. They believe that once the money comes, then Allah will see what they do with it. But the test often starts long before that. The real test is not your bank account. The real test is your character. Allah is watching who you are becoming while you are still asking for the blessing. Look at the small things in your life. Do you keep your promises? Do you work with honesty even when nobody is watching? Do you stay grateful when you have very little? Do you treat people with kindness even when you feel disappointed? These moments may seem small to you, but they are never small with Allah. Character is built through small choices repeated every day. Many people say they would become generous if they had more money. But generosity does not begin with wealth. It begins with the heart. A person who never shares a little will rarely share a lot. A person who complains with a small blessing will often complain with a bigger one. Wealth usually does not change the heart. It simply shows what was already inside it. That is why Allah may test you with little before trusting you with more. If you can be honest when the reward is small, you are preparing yourself for greater responsibility. If you can stay thankful during difficult days, your heart becomes ready for easier ones. If you can trust Allah while your resources are limited, that trust will remain even when your resources increase. Think about the people around you. Some become successful and stay humble. Others become successful and change overnight. They become proud. They forget the people who supported them. They stop thanking Allah. The money did not create those qualities. The money only revealed what was already hidden in the heart. This is why Allah cares more about your character than your income. A clean heart is worth more than a full wallet. A sincere believer is more valuable than a wealthy believer whose heart has become attached to the dunya. Allah wants both for you. Allah wants you to have halal provision, but Allah also wants you to reach Jannah. If one blessing puts the other at risk, Allah's wisdom may delay it until your heart becomes stronger. So while you are asking Allah to increase your wealth, ask Allah to increase your honesty. Ask Allah to increase your gratitude. Ask Allah to increase your patience. Ask Allah to increase your sincerity. Those are the qualities that protect every blessing. Never think that this season is empty. Every challenge is shaping your heart. Every delay is teaching you something. Every test is preparing you for the future that Allah has already planned. One day you may receive the wealth you dreamed about. When that day comes, you will realize that the greatest investment Allah made was never in your bank account. It was in your character. And that is the kind of wealth that will benefit you in this life and in the next. Many people believe that more money will solve their biggest problems. They think life will finally become easy. They imagine they will have more peace, more happiness, and more freedom. But wealth is not only a blessing, wealth is also a test. If the heart is not ready, the blessing can slowly become a burden. Think about what happens when success comes very quickly. A person who once depended on Allah can begin depending on money. A person who once made sincere dua every night may slowly stop asking Allah. The heart does not change in one day. It changes little by little. That is what makes it dangerous. You do not even notice it happening. Money has a way of revealing what is already inside the heart. If there is gratitude, wealth can increase gratitude. If there is generosity, wealth can increase generosity. But if there is pride, wealth can make that pride much bigger. If there is love for status, wealth can make that love even stronger. The money is not creating a new heart. It is exposing the heart that was already there. That is why Allah does not only look at what you are asking for. Allah also looks at what the blessing will do to you. Allah knows whether success will bring you closer or push you further away. Allah knows whether you will remember Allah when your bank account grows or whether you will begin to believe that you achieved everything by yourself. This is one of the greatest dangers of success. A person starts believing that hard work alone created the results. They forget that thousands of people work hard every day and still struggle. They forget that every opportunity comes only because Allah allowed it to happen. Every client, every promotion, every business deal, and every source of income is still a gift from Allah. That is why humility is so important. The more Allah blesses you, the more you should remember where every blessing came from. Success should make your sujood longer, not shorter. Wealth should make your gratitude deeper, not weaker. Every new blessing should remind you that you need Allah just as much today as you did before the blessing arrived. Ask yourself an honest question. If Allah gave you everything you are asking for today, would your relationship with Allah become stronger or weaker? Would you still wake up for Fajr with the same desire? Would you still make dua with the same humility? Would you still remember Allah when life became comfortable? Those are not easy questions, but they are important questions. Perhaps this is why Allah is making you wait. Not because Allah wants to keep the blessing from you, but because Allah wants the blessing to protect your faith instead of weakening it. Allah wants you to enjoy wealth without becoming controlled by it. Allah wants your hands to hold the dunya while your heart remains attached to Allah. When the heart reaches that place, wealth becomes a tool for good instead of a distraction from the one who gave it. One of the biggest mistakes we make is believing that our job provides for us. We think our salary feeds our family. We think our business keeps us secure. We think our clients decide our future. But none of those things are our true provider. They are only means. Allah is the one who provides through those means. This is a lesson that changes everything. The moment your heart truly understands this, fear begins to disappear. You still work hard, you still make plans, you still do your best, but you no longer live with constant worry. You know that if one door closes, Allah can open another. If one opportunity is taken away, Allah can create a better one. Your hope is no longer tied to people. Your hope is tied to Allah. This is what tawakkul really means. Tawakkul does not mean sitting at home and waiting for money to fall from the sky. Islam teaches us to work. Islam teaches us to make an effort. But after doing our part, we leave the results with Allah. We stop believing that everything depends on us. We remember that every outcome is in the hands of Allah. This kind of trust changes the way you live. It also changes the way you give. Many people are afraid to give charity because they think they already have too little. They tell themselves they will give more after they become rich. But that day often never comes. A heart that is controlled by fear today will still be controlled by fear tomorrow. Real generosity begins before wealth becomes abundant. When you give for the sake of Allah, you are saying something without using words. You are saying, Allah is enough for me. Allah can replace anything I give. That kind of trust is beloved to Allah. It is the trust of a heart that believes the provider will never abandon those who depend on Allah. Look at the lives of the companions of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. They worked hard, they earned wealth, but they never allowed wealth to own their hearts. They gave freely because they knew the treasure of Allah never becomes smaller. They understood that every blessing comes from Allah and every blessing can be replaced by Allah. That is why they lived without a scarcity mindset. They did not panic every time they spent something for a good cause. They believed that Allah's treasures are endless. The more they trusted Allah, the more peaceful their hearts became. Ask yourself a simple question. What do you trust more? The number in your bank account or the promise of Allah? Your answer will tell you where your heart is resting. Allah does not ask you to stop working. Allah asks you to stop depending on your work more than you depend on Allah. That is the difference. When your trust shifts from the means to the master of the means, something beautiful happens. You stop living in fear. You stop comparing yourself to everyone else. You stop believing that people control your future. Instead, your heart finds peace because it knows that every provision comes from Allah. And that peace is a form of wealth that no amount of money can ever buy. Most people spend their time asking Allah for a better future, but very few ask themselves an important question. Am I becoming the person who is ready for that future? That question can change the way you see every delay. Instead of feeling frustrated, you begin to see this season as preparation. You stop thinking only about what you want to receive. You start thinking about who you need to become. Allah is always more concerned with your heart than your possessions. Money can come and go. Businesses can rise and fall. Jobs can change overnight. But the heart you build while waiting can stay with you for the rest of your life. That is why this season matters so much. It is shaping qualities that money can never buy. Use this time wisely. Build discipline before success comes. Learn to manage what you already have. Be honest with every small responsibility. Be grateful for every small blessing. If you cannot appreciate what Allah has already given you, more wealth will not automatically make you grateful. Gratitude is a habit. It grows long before the blessing becomes bigger. Keep improving yourself every day. Learn new skills. Work with excellence. Keep your intentions pure. Do not chase wealth just to impress people. Do not make success your identity. Make pleasing Allah your goal, then let your work become an act of worship. There will be days when you feel tired. There will be days when nothing seems to move. Keep going anyway. Every sincere effort is seen by Allah. Every honest step has value. Even if nobody else notices your struggle, Allah does. Even if people overlook your effort, Allah never does. Sometimes we think preparation is a waste because we cannot see immediate results. But nothing done for the sake of Allah is ever wasted. Every lesson is preparing you for something greater. Every challenge is making you stronger. Every delay is teaching you patience, wisdom, and trust. Imagine receiving the wealth you have always wanted after your heart has become stronger. You will spend differently. You will give differently. You will think differently. You will remember Allah more often because you will never forget the journey that brought you there. That is the kind of success that lasts. Do not rush the process that Allah has chosen for you. Allah knows exactly what your heart needs. Allah knows exactly when you are ready. Trust that wisdom even when you do not understand it. Keep making dua. Keep working with excellence. Keep improving your character. Keep relying on Allah. One day, the door you have been praying for will open. When it does, you will realize that the waiting was never empty. It was building the person who could carry the blessing without letting the blessing carry them. And that may be one of the greatest gifts Allah ever gives you. As human beings, we often think we know what is best for us. We make plans, we set goals, we ask Allah for a certain job, a certain business, or a certain amount of money. In our minds, we believe that one thing will finally make us happy. We believe that once we reach that point, everything will fall into place. But Allah sees the whole picture. We only see today. Allah sees tomorrow. We only see one door. Allah sees every road that door will lead to. That is why Allah's answer is always based on perfect wisdom, not on our limited understanding. Sometimes Allah gives you exactly what you asked for. Sometimes Allah gives you something better. And sometimes Allah asks you to wait because the right time has not yet arrived. Trusting Allah means believing that every answer has wisdom behind it, even when you cannot understand it, even when your heart feels disappointed, even when everyone around you seems to be moving ahead. Remember this, Allah is never late. People measure life by calendars and clocks. Allah measures life by wisdom. What feels slow to you may be exactly on time according to Allah's plan. If the blessing comes 1 year later, there is a reason. If it comes 10 years later, there is a reason. If Allah replaces it with something completely different, there is also a reason. Many blessings only make sense when you look back. One day, you may realize that the job you wanted would have taken you away from your family. The business you wanted may have filled your life with stress. The wealth you wanted may have distracted you from your faith. What once felt like a painful delay may turn out to be one of the greatest acts of mercy Allah ever gave you. That is why your relationship with Allah should never depend on whether your dua is answered the way you expected. Allah deserves your trust in every situation. Allah deserves your gratitude in every season. Whether your hands are full or empty, Allah is still worthy of your worship. Keep asking Allah for halal wealth. There is nothing wrong with that. Islam encourages us to seek Allah's bounty. Work hard, build your future, have big goals, but never believe that money is your destination. Let Allah remain your destination. When Allah is your greatest goal, every blessing finds its proper place. One day, Allah will give you exactly what is best for you. It may look different from what you imagined. It may arrive later than you hoped. But when you finally see Allah's wisdom, your heart will understand why every delay mattered. You will realize that Allah was never keeping good away from you. Allah was guiding you towards something better. And that is why a believer never loses hope. A believer keeps working, keeps making dua, and keeps trusting Allah. Because the believer knows that when Allah writes your story, every chapter has a purpose, every delay has wisdom, and every blessing arrives at the perfect time. If there is one lesson to remember from this reminder, let it be this. Allah is not only preparing your provision, Allah is preparing you. That changes everything. It changes the way you see delays. It changes the way you see success. It even changes the way you make dua. Do not measure Allah's love by how quickly your prayers are answered. Measure Allah's love by how much Allah is shaping your heart. A delayed blessing is not always a denied blessing. Sometimes it is a protected blessing. Sometimes Allah is saving you from a future you cannot see. Sometimes Allah is building the strength you will need to carry what you have been asking for. Keep working with excellence. Keep making sincere dua. Keep improving your character. Keep your heart connected to Allah in every season. Whether you have little or much, never let your trust move away from the one who controls every blessing. Remember that wealth is not the greatest gift. A heart that stays close to Allah is, if Allah gives you both, then you have truly succeeded. So never lose hope because of a delay. Never think your effort has been wasted. Never believe that your du'as have been ignored. Allah hears every prayer. Allah sees every struggle. Allah knows every tear that falls when no one else is watching. And Allah promises that no sincere effort is ever lost. Perhaps the wealth you are asking for is already written for you. Allah is simply waiting for the right moment. The moment when the blessing will increase your gratitude instead of your pride. The moment when success will strengthen your faith instead of weakening it. The moment when your hands can hold wealth without your heart becoming attached to it. Let us end with a sincere dua. Oh Allah, bless us with halal provision that brings us closer to you. Protect our hearts from pride, greed, and love of this world. Fill our hearts with trust, gratitude, and contentment. Make us grateful before wealth comes and humble after it arrives. Never let any blessing become a reason for us to forget you. Grant us success in this life and success in the hereafter. Ameen. If this reminder benefited you, share it with someone who is waiting for their breakthrough. It may become the reminder they needed today. And if you want more reminders that strengthen your faith and bring you closer to Allah through the Quran and Sunnah, subscribe and join our community. Before you leave, write one word in the comments. Trust in Allah. Let that one word remind you that your future is not in the hands of people. It is not in the economy. It is not in your job. Your future is in the hands of Allah, and there is no safer place for your future to be.